What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Unplugged. This is your boy Pico Black. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, continue to support me. Love you guys for doing that. You all are great to me. But let's jump right into it. You already know how I do. This is Unplugged with your boy Pico Black. Before I start the show, feel free, it's free, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my TikTok, and also my Instagram. My Instagram is Pico Black 74. My TikTok is Pico City, and of course the YouTube is Pico Black. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, hit the follow on YouTube, hit the follow on TikTok and Instagram as well. Now we got a pretty good show today. It's a bit harsh, but then again, what's not? But people need to know the truth, what's going on in the world. And the name of the topic is why God stopped taking calls for people, or answering calls for certain people. And this topic was given to me by somebody. They sent it in to me and asked me, can we talk about it? Or can I talk about it? Because they're in church and they're having differences in believing what the pastor say. So I said, hey, I'll do it. Now the thing is this, by no shape, form, or fashion, this is nothing to bash anybody, to hurt anybody, to make people hate me, but the truth is the truth. So by that being said, let us begin. Not bad, 806. But I think personally, I think the reason why the big guys stopped taking calls and stopped answering calls for certain people, because we take a lot of things for granted, and we think that God's always going to be there to bail us out of situations, when we can bail ourselves out of situations if we use common knowledge and common sense, So for example, what I've been always saying for quite some time now, the Lord's not going to give you pretty much anything you ask for. It don't work like that. Some people ask for women, some people ask for men. God send me a righteous man, God send me a holy man, God send me a man that's gonna do this, gonna do that. It's not, I'm telling you now, read my lips, people. It's not going to happen. Reasons why it's not gonna happen: because God don't do delivery calls like that. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're living for him, or if you're trying to make the best out of your life and keeping him first, he may, I'm not saying he's going to, but he may put somebody in your life. But you got, hey Katrina, how you doing? You got stone cold sinners that go to church, and just for beginners, church don't get you anywhere, man. Church don't get you, it never did, never will. It's what's inside of you. It's okay to go to church, but just because you go to church, that's not a brownie point. It's not. You got the biggest sinners in church. Drug lords and serial killers go to church, so that's pretty much nothing. But I will say this: if you're going around telling people God's going to do this and God's going to do that, and you live in the life of sin, it's not going to happen. And like I said before, and I've said this a whole bunch of times, but I never really touched base on it. It was just a little here, a little there. But the reason why God is not going to send nobody, is because, one, you may end up with somebody that's going to beat the hell out of you. They may end up with somebody that's going to cheat or do anything bad to you. If that is the case, that's pretty much God's fault. Because you can say, well, God, you sent me this man or you sent me this woman and she treated me like dirt. She did this or she did that. No, we have to choose ourselves. It's common sense to choose somebody that's good for you. You don't need a rocket scientist to figure this out. But these are some of the reasons why people pretty much don't know what they be talking about. I'm waiting on God to send me a man. God, send me a man. No, because if God send you a man, he's going to be, and even if, let's just sweeten the pot for a second. Even if God did send you a man, if God sent you a man, that man is going to pretty much do everything the Lord put in him to do. And most of us aren't ready for that. Most women aren't ready for it. Most men aren't ready for it because we live in our life of sin, and sin is fun. Let's just be honest. Sin is fun. People like to live in sin. If God was to send you man and he say, hey, let's worship the Lord together. Let's pray together. Let's do this. Let's keep the Sabbath together. Let's not do this. Let's not do the holidays and stuff anymore because these are all pagan holidays. Would you follow that man? Would you? Or he say, hey, you can't go to clubs anymore. You can't wear tight clothes anymore. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to treat you have to walk upright as womanhood or as manhood. Would you be able to do that? Would you? Because after all, you wanted God to send you a man. So be careful what you wish for. If you can't take a regular person trying to lead you in the right way, what makes you think you're going to listen to a man that the Lord sent or a woman that the Lord sent? We have a tendency to ask for things we don't even know what the heck we're talking about. For starters, let's start there. But that's just how it goes, man. Some people just be saying stuff. God gonna do this. No, he's not, because you have no works. You have nothing to show what you did for him. So why should he try to help you? People don't have an inkling of faith in God. Not a little bit of faith. But the first time something goes wrong, what do they call on? So did he not say he would laugh at your calamity? He was like, dude, you've been sinning all these years, and now you want to ask me for a woman, or the woman you want to ask me for a man to send you a man? No, because if God send you a man, you know what? You can't have sex with him, and you can't have sex with her unless you're married. So God send you a man, God send you a woman. He do everything by the book. He gave people knowledge to write. So if he do that, and y'all have sex, y'all committed fornication. God don't play by the same rules we do. It's pretty much what he says goes. I mean, but don't get me wrong, he know we're human, but at the end of the day, there's still no excuse. He's not going to say, I'm going to send you this man, or I'm going to send you this woman. Y'all going to mess around and have sex with each other before y'all marry. But I don't understand. No, you do it on your own. Then when you know you correct, when you know you have a problem, you correct that problem by not doing it again. That's why God stopped answering calls to certain people. Because we come to him with the most stupidest things. The most stupidest things. So that's why I'm not saying all people, but I'm going to say if you're not living for the man, don't expect him to do anything great for you or this and that unless he has a calling on you or he know that you're trying to change. Then okay. But we just sit up here and just say the craziest things. No, you can't. You can't have sex before you marry. We all know this, but guess what? We all do it. So I can't point no fingers at nobody because I had each and every one of my children out of wedlock. All of them. So I can't get up here and broadcast to y'all and I say, oh, y'all going to hell. But no, I'm the same way. If I don't get my life together, like I always say, I'm going to. Or I'll be messed up too. You can't commit fornication. You can't. There's things we can't do, but we want God to understand why we do them. He don't. I don't even understand. I know we're human and we gonna do stupid stuff, but don't say God send me a man and that man and you go out with that man, or God send me a woman and y'all have a date to go out and you coming on to them, touching on them and stuff like that. No. And just like I said before, Marcus, what's good, bro? Good to see you up here, man. And just like I said before, what are the chances of that? He's gonna send you the man and you're gonna break one of his laws and one of his covenants. No sex before marriage. You're gonna have sex with him because we're human. So that's why God stopped answering calls for certain people. He been stopped. That land, he disconnected that land years ago. And it's not just God saying, man, you got the people that want God to do things for them, but they don't want to do nothing for him. Like I said, church is a part of it, but church is not the final answer. You have the biggest sinners in church. Mafia go to church. Drug dealers go to church. Gangbangers go to church. That's nothing. It's what you learn in church. Will you take it around with you, and will you keep it up here? And when you see something going crazy, will you try to prevent it from yourself? Would you try to prevent yourself from doing it? Or would you go like, how many people you know go to church Monday through Saturday, they're in the clubs, or they're cheating on their husbands, or they're cheating on their wives, or they're out shaking their booties and they wearing little bitty clothes and real low cut dresses. You can see half of their nipple, but they go to church on Sundays. That's what you call a hypocrite. That's what you call a hypocrite. I prefer for you to just do what you do, leave God out of it. Because God was never a toy. These are toys. He's not up there. So that means he's not a toy. So just think before you speak. Some of us dedicate our lives to just doing evil. Anything bad in his eyes is considered an evil act. That's anything good is considered a good act. Anything bad is considered an evil act. And you have more evil in the world than you have good in the world. This is not just Chicago. This is New York, LA, California. You want to go a little bit further? Hawaii, Europe, England. It's evil. It's more evil in the world than good. But guess what? There was always more evil in the world than good, because it's easy to do evil, but it's hard to do good, according to people. So who are you kidding? Who are you joking? Because there's a saying, you can fool man some of the time, but you can't fool God none of the time, because he knows and sees everything we do. Sometimes he let you make a mistake just to make sure you know you made the mistake. He already know you're going to do it, but he have to convince you that you're going to do it. I already know he's going to screw up, but I'm going to let him do it anyway, because he's thinking so much that he's not going to screw up. So he let you do it. I'm not saying he won't forgive you for it. Of course he will if you mean it. And if you forgive yourself. And if he forgives you, that means once you're being forgiven, you have to try your best not to do that same sin again. But just like, say for instance, take me. I'm a whoremonger, okay? And I'm going around sleeping with every woman I can. See, I got to say every woman, because you know how the world is. He said everything, he mean man. No, every woman I can. And I asked the Lord to forgive me. Okay, forgive you. Next week, same thing. 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 Dude, why am I keep forgiving you for the same thing? If I keep forgiving you for the same thing, you're never going to learn your lesson. That's what a lot of us do. That's what a lot of us do. How many times you've seen people on, I ain't gonna say they deathbed, but on their sick bed, just sick, and they like, oh my God. Or alcoholics or whatever, they get super drunk to it, like, oh God, please help me through this. I'll never take another drink again. And when you're feeling better, you go right back and get some alcohol. It's the same thing. Same thing. Excuse me. It's the exact same thing. So what do we do for him that he can say, you know what? I'm going to send you this person. Or I'm going to send you this man. I'm going to send you this woman. But you ain't got no works for him. You ain't got nothing. You don't even know how to spell God. But we always want him to do something for us. Singing in the choir don't get you anywhere. Preaching in this day and age don't get you anywhere. You have a lot of preachers that's hypocrites too. They up in the pulpit jumping from pillar to post and running around with capes and stuff on, but they got to live the same law you got to live by. Even so, they have to live it better, because they're examples for you. Why do you think he said when he come, the first place he's going to visit is the church? There's a reason why he said that. Because he already knew it was going to be some crazy stuff going on in these churches. Look at the churches today. Look at the churches. Look at take a glance at them. Everything goes in. Churches are like clubs now. So that's why God left the building. That's why. Because he can't be around sin. He can't tolerate sin. There once was a time back in the biblical days he used to walk the earth. He left because it was too much. You don't believe me? Read your Bible. He left the earth and he ain't came down since because it's too much sin in the world. If God was to come down here, this world there's a good chance this world might blow up because he don't tolerate sin. He never did and he never will. Because if he did, there would be no reason for Satan to exist. It wouldn't. If he didn't tolerate it with his own angelical kids, what the heck do you think he's going to tolerate it with you for? Sure, he give us chances. I don't know if angels get chances like we do, but he's not a stupid God. He's not going to keep forgiving you for the same thing. He's not. So we got to be careful what we say. Be careful what we wish for, because you're not going. First of all, you're not going to get it. I know a lot of because I grew up in church from child to man. I grew up in church, and I've seen a lot of things in church. I've seen a lot of things in visitor churches. I've seen a lot of things. I knew a couple of preachers that were sleeping with the sisters in the church, and these preachers were married. But they'll get up and preach. Call everybody else, hey, you're going to hell, but you're doing the same thing they do. The exact same thing. But you know better, and you should know more because you claim yourself as a shepherd, a sheep of God, I mean. Remember, God ordained you to be a preacher. So if he ordained you to be a preacher, you got to be a light to the flock, man. You got to be a light. You got to be a light to the flock. It don't work like that. That's why God stopped answering calls for some of us. Because he already know that he dealing with a people that stiff-necked like a son of a gun. And we the most hard-headed people that ever walked the face of the earth. I saw a clip on Facebook. No, it was on Instagram. I'm sorry. Where was a woman in church? She's twerking in church. And everybody just rooting her on. Yeah, go ahead, sister. Like, dude, that's twerking. That's what you call club life. Now, how you gonna bring club life inside of a church? Because two entities can't occupy the same space at the same time. You can't bring holiness to dark. I mean, you can't bring darkness to holiness. Just like me going to a strip club and preaching. And that's like a strip club going to a church. You know that dress is too short. Let's just be honest. You know things you can do and things you can't do. You know that dress is too short. You know that dress is too freaking tight to be going to church. There was one preacher, all the women were sitting in front of the church and they didn't have any underwear on, and they had their legs open, and his excuse was the reason why he told them not to wear any panties because he wanted the Holy Ghost to go straight to them. But guess what? Who's the fool, the preacher or the people that's listening to the preacher? Because that don't even make sense. I don't have to go to a church. Never went to a church a day in my life. And I just walked into a church. And the preacher say, and it's a woman preacher, I'm just saying a woman preacher. She say, well, sir, you join our church. You got to come in here all the time and with no underwear on or no pants, just have a shirt and tie on. Because God's going to give you a blessing. I know right off the bat, dude, something's wrong with this church. Something wrong with the church. Remember the preacher that had all the girls? I think they was in Miami. I forgot what it was at. And they was all bent over in the sand. And he was going past all of them, kissing them kissing their booties. Kiss them on their butts, and he was saying God's going to give them a blessing. This is real life. Where the heck you think these people are going to go? One, you're playing with God. That's the one thing, the only thing you never want to play with. I don't care if you're a saint. I don't care if you're a sinner. You don't want to play with the big man because he can put stuff on you that hospitals can't cure. He'll make you wish you was dead. Believe me, I've seen it. But that's another story. So let's just stop asking God for things that we're not ready for. And like I said to the people that just got on here, if God do send you a man or a woman, that man or that woman is going to do exactly what the Lord tell him to do. Are you ready to follow that? God send me a man or God send me a woman, and let's just say for argument's sake, he do. And he said, hey, you know what? The things you do, you can't do anymore. You can't, like I said earlier, you can't go to clubs. You gotta leave the drugs alone. You gotta stop being an alcoholic. You gotta stop dancing, and you gotta stop sleeping with all these men. You gotta stop sleeping with all these women, and blah blah blah. Will you be ready to do that? Or will you be say, oh, this is my life. I have my own life. You can't tell me what to do. That's why it's not good to play church. A lot of people go to church. I don't understand the metaphors of church. They never did. Let's just be honest. They don't. If you're going to live for them, live for them. If you're not, just don't. If you're going to be a saint, be a saint. If you're going to be a sinner, be a sinner. But the thing is, you can't put God into your sinful life, just like you can't put the devil into your God-given life. It don't add up. I'm not saying that Satan won't tempt you. That's his job. You can't get mad at Satan for tempting you or trying to make you commit sin. That's his job. That's his job. That's what he's here for. He's not gonna say, "I'm Satan. I saw you looking at that girl. You married. You've been married for 10 years. I seen you looking at that girl, and I see what you're thinking. Now you know God gonna get you for that. No, he's gonna push you on. Go ahead. Go ahead. So it's up to you. It's up to me what we're gonna do about this situation. But please, God's not taking those calls anymore, people. He's not. And I've been hearing it all my life. God gonna send me a man. I hear a lot of I hear more women saying it than I hear men saying God gonna send me a woman. God send me a man. Send me a man that's gonna understand. And you are full of anger and hate and in spirit. You're full of them. Instead of saying God send me a man, you should say God cleanse me a new heart. Maybe you'll stop scaring off men and women if you calm your butt down. Some of us are just full of evil, hatred, and anger for no apparent reason. But you want him to send you a man. You're going to run him away too. Wouldn't that be crazy if God sent you a man and the man God sent you, he ran away back to God? Think about that. That's kind of weird. But that's the world we live in, man. Faith without works is dead, people. They're dead. They always will be dead. So you got to have something. You got to have something. You got to show something. You got to at least try to do right by him. Don't dedicate the rest of your life, long life, short life, to sin. Have some knowledge of God. Most people I've talked to over the years, they don't know nothing about God. Nothing. They give you the basics. That's it. But it's more than just basics. It's way more than basics. But that's just how it goes. I'm sorry, the radio acting crazy. They don't. But what can you do? If you want somebody to be a light to the world, they have to be a light to you first. Will you listen to that woman? Did that woman say, hey, we can't have sex before we get married? We got to get married. Yeah, we can date. Sure, we can date. We can go out on dates. We can have a good time. We can go out to dinners. We can go see movies. We can do nice, decent things. But we can't have sex till we get married. What you going to say? Oh, man, look, you old school. I ain't ready for that. I got to go. Same thing with the men. Same thing with the women. So why would God put his people in a situation like that? Why? He's not going to do that. Because in his eyes, his people are important to him. So hey, we all got a choice and a decision to make. Don't let these reality show TV preachers and stuff convince you, man, because they got to get judged just like everybody else do. Everybody got to get judged. So hey, it is what it is. But That's why I'm glad this topic was sent to me, because I can break it down even more. There are no favors. They're not. There aren't any favors. You live a life of sin. You've been doing all this crap, and then you say, "God, send me a man," and He gonna send you a great man, not a perfect man, because no man is perfect. He gonna send you a good man, and He just gonna sweep you off your feet. You gonna drive that brother crazy, or you gonna drive that sister crazy, because your ways are evil. Men are evil, just like women are evil. There's only two sides to the quarter, man. You got a lot of messed up sisters out here, just like you got a lot of messed up brothers. Oh, sweetie, you you can't wear that anymore, sweetie. What you mean I can't wear this no more? I'm up to look, woman's power. Do all that stuff is that woman's power, all that crap. He don't care about that stuff, man. He don't care about that stuff. Just like he don't care about black life. He don't care about none of that. Only thing he cares about is you getting your life together so you can make it. That's it. He don't care about no woman's empowerment. Hell, he made you. So why would he care about it? Because guess what? It don't benefit what he's offering. It never did. It never will. I'm not saying is anything wrong with it. I'm not saying I'm not saying a woman shouldn't be held in a high rank position. To me, in my world, any woman that want to be successful and make it, I look, hands down, I wish all y'all the best. I wish all y'all could be millionaires. But you got to do it right. You have to do it right. You can't turn to something and just be like, the hell with God. He put you there. He'll blow on it. He will put you right back to memory lane. And you're like, oh my God, what happened? You know what you did. You made it and you forgot about me. So guess what? Now I got to forget about you. The Lord can take our abuse in that situation. We can't take his. Because that's the one being I ever want to turn my back on. Women can walk away. Wives can divorce you. Girlfriends can leave you. That's the one person, I ain't gonna say person because it's not a person. That's the one being I never wish would leave. Take it all. I'm like, hey, look, you can take it all, man. Just don't leave. Just keep me in your grace, because at the end, I'm gonna wish I was in your grace. That's how my life is set up. My life has always been set up like that. Because people are people. People will leave you. Husbands divorce wives. Wives divorce husbands. Girlfriends find somebody better in their eyes. Boyfriends find somebody better in your eyes. But you got to live for the Lord. You can't live for them. You can't. But that's going to do it for the show, man. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. My TikTok is Pico Black. Feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to my page. My Instagram is Pico Black 74. My TikTok is, I always forget it, I don't know why, Pico City. There we go. You already know how I do it. Take care of each other. I love you guys, man. Keep God first. Pray more, because we need the big guy more today than we did him yesterday. Black man, let's uplift the black woman. Black woman, let's go. Thank you. Thanks. Black woman, let's lift up the black man. Black man, let's lift up the black woman. Let's live together in unity. Nobody's going to do this but us. And the only way we can do that is if we get back to the Creator. That's the one thing, the only thing that's going to help us. Job's not going to help you. Your money's not going to help you. He's the only one that can help you through this. So we all of us really need to be getting on our knees and praying now, because 2024 is coming. Every year, if you notice, it gets worse. There is no better days anymore. You get caught up in it, you're screwed. Take a look at the world. Take a look at the world. We got people coming into America day and night. This is never a good sign. I have no problem with the immigrants that's coming. The migrants that's coming. I have no problem with them. But watch well, let's pray. Remember these words, man. Watch well, let's pray, because everything that shines isn't gold. So that's why you got to stay prayed up, because man will let you down all the time. This is your boy Pico. I'm signing off saying take care of yourself and each other. I will see you guys on the next podcast. And you have just heard another exciting podcast from Pico. And this is Unplugged. I'm out of here. Take care of yourself and each other.